Hello and welcome to Study English with Sarah. I'm Sarah, and this week's lesson is about screen time in schools. 88% of schools now give every student a device, but is technology actually making it harder to learn? Let's get started. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, you'll read an article about whether digital devices are helping or harming children in schools. Then you'll practice 2 IELTS questions type, sentence completion and short answer. After that, we'll go through some new vocabulary. And finally, you'll listen and repeat these new words for pronunciation practice. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a lesson. Before we start, a little personal note from me. As a teacher and a parent, this week's article really caught my attention. Children use devices at school here in New Zealand. I know that using a computer is an essential skill nowadays, but I do feel that children are not being shown how to look things up for research, how to use AI correctly, or even how to use Microsoft Word or Excel. Devices are a substitute for pen and paper, but that is about all. I wonder if those screens are actually making it harder for them to learn. I would love to know what you think. Do you think technology in schools is helping or harming our children? Leave a comment below. Now let's read the article. I'll read each paragraph aloud. Feel free to pause the video and read along at your own pace. Reading. Screens in schools. Walk into almost any classroom today and you will find rows of students staring at screens. In the United States, 88% of public schools now issue a device to every student, and similar trends are emerging across the world. Supporters of educational technology argue that digital devices prepare students for a modern workforce and make learning more engaging and accessible. However, a growing body of research is raising serious concerns. Study after study confirms that students comprehend more when they read printed material rather than content on screens, and retain more information when they write notes by hand rather than typing them. Beyond academic performance, researchers argue that screens are damaging children's physical health in ways that are often overlooked. Increased screen time significantly raises the risk of nearsightedness, and because using a device is a sedentary activity, it reduces the physical movement that growing bodies need. Perhaps more concerning is the effect on children's ability to focus. Digital technology is deliberately designed to be stimulating with rewards, fast-moving content, and constant notifications, making it increasingly difficult for students to develop the patience and concentration that deep learning requires. Skills such as reading, research, and critical thinking are slow and demanding, and they cannot compete with the instant gratification that screens provide. There are also serious concerns about safety and social development. Children accessing school-issued devices can potentially connect with dangerous individuals online, access harmful content, or be exposed to inappropriate material, even on supposedly secure school networks. One attorney representing victims of online abuse noted that children will always find ways around safety barriers, no matter how sophisticated the technology. Beyond online dangers, critics argue that screens are replacing the human interaction that children need to develop essential social skills, like the ability to listen, debate, collaborate, and empathize, skills that no device can teach. Despite the growing evidence, most schools have been slow to act. Los Angeles passed a resolution in 2026 limiting screen time in schools, and some parent and teacher groups around the world are pushing for similar changes. Supporters of technology in schools maintain that digital skills are essential for the future, and the solution lies in better regulation rather than removing devices altogether. As one expert put it, children have evolved to interact with one another, use their bodies, and spend time outdoors, not to stare at screens all day. The question is no longer whether screens belong in schools, but how much longer we can afford to ignore the evidence. Now it's time to practice your IELTS skills. We have 2 question types today. Let's start with sentence completion. Complete the sentence using no more than 2 words from the article. Remember, the questions are worded differently from the article, so you need to understand the meaning rather than just scanning for matching words. Pause the video and try the questions now. Now for the short answer questions. These are a little trickier. Answer each question using no more than 3 words from the article. Pause the video and try to answer the questions now. How did you go? These questions were challenging, especially the short answer questions, which require you to understand the argument rather than just find facts. Don't worry if you found it difficult, that's exactly how you improve. Head to my Substack blog to check your answers. The link is on the screen and in the description below. If you'd like access to the full lesson every week, you can join as a paid subscriber for just $5 New Zealand dollars a month. I'd love to have you over there. Now let's look at some new vocabulary from the article. Listen and repeat each word after me. Sedentary. Sedentary. Involving a lot of sitting and very little physical movement. Listen to it in a sentence. Using a device is a sedentary activity that reduces the physical movement growing bodies need. Sedentary. Stimulating. Stimulating. Interesting and exciting, designed to keep your attention. Listen to it in a sentence. Digital technology is deliberately designed to be stimulating with rewards and fast-moving content. Stimulating. Concentration. Concentration. The ability to focus your attention on something for a period of time. Listen to it in a sentence. Screens make it increasingly difficult for students to develop the concentration that deep learning requires. Concentration. Instant gratification. Instant gratification. The desire to have or experience something immediately without waiting. Listen to it in a sentence. Critical thinking cannot compete with the instant gratification that screens provide. Instant gratification. Nearsightedness. Nearsightedness. A condition where you can see things clearly close up but not from a distance. Listen to it in a sentence. Increased screen time significantly raises the risk of nearsightedness in children. Empathize. Empathize. To understand and share the feelings of another person. Listen to it in a sentence. Screens are replacing the human interaction children need to learn to listen, debate, collaborate, and empathize. Empathize. Resolution. Resolution. A formal decision or statement made by a group or organization. Listen to it in a sentence. Los Angeles passed a resolution in 2026 limiting screen time in schools. Resolution. Regulate. Regulate. To control something using rules or laws. Listen to it in a sentence. Supporters argue it is better to regulate device use rather than removing them altogether. Regulate. And that's it for today. I hope this lesson has made you think about technology and learning. Maybe it's given you some ideas of how to study more effectively. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe so you never miss a new lesson each week. You can find the full lesson, answer explanations, and audio practice over at studyenglishwithsarah.substack.com. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The links are on the screen. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.